Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Fargo police are staying late at work and coming in early with Officer Jason Moszer on their mind. Thank you for joining us tonight. Despite dealing with their normal duties, many are figuring out the details for Officer Moser's funeral. It's expected to draw thousands on Monday, many from out of state.
Until he's buried, officers will be at his side at all times. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson rode along with a Fargo sergeant today and has more on how Officer Moser's death is impacting the department.
No police department is going to function very well without the support of the community. I've never shaken so many hands in all my life in such a short period of time. Everybody was telling us condolences, thank you.
Sergeant Jim Kringley
Might have blisters on my hands from it.
has spent more than 30 years patrolling these Fargo streets and says it's the community that's kept him here.
I actually deployed with Jason before he was an officer. I didn't know him, but I went on. One of my deployments was with him.
Not only did they serve together in the National Guard, Sergeant Kringley and Officer Moszer served with Fargo PD. Different shifts, but similar hobbies. They rode motorcycles together off duty. Since Jason Moszer was shot and killed while on duty, Sergeant Kringley has been working regular hours. But there's nothing normal about recent days in this community.
You couldn't get them to leave because they wanted to do more.
Officers wanting to be there for each other, including those who don't work weekends, being there on weekends. Those who don't work concerts or other events, showing up to help, to be there for support.
Because we haven't done this before. I mean, we've had police funerals, but none where the officer was killed on duty.
And maybe this is all part of a chilling reminder of the danger that every police officer faces on the job in today's world.
You know it in the back of your mind that it's a possibility. You kind of talk to yourself kind of in a denial, like, well, it's not going to happen to me. But in the back of your mind, you kind of know it's a distinct possibility that it could happen.
Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
Once again, Officer Jason Moser's funeral will be on Monday at 1 p.m. The service will be held at Shields Arena. If you can't make it and want to see it, we'll be broadcasting it on Valley News Live, and that's on air and online.
Fargo police posted on their Facebook page that they ran out of blue light bulbs shortly after making them available this morning. The bulbs are to show support for the family of Jason Moszer and local law enforcement. The department plans on getting more blue light bulbs and will let the public know when they get them. The plan was for the Fargo Police Department to hand out blue light bulbs in the lobby of the downtown station during normal business hours starting today and running through Friday. They had nearly 500 bulbs available to hand out. Police were asking for a Goodwill donation, but no donation was required to get a bulb. A local business is also selling blue light bulbs. Good Bulb is selling over 1,000 bulbs in honor of Officer Moszer. The bulbs are $5 each, and all proceeds go to Officer Moser's family. The goal is to show support by lighting up the city in blue. Tune in tonight to Valley News Live 10 at 10, and we'll have much more on this story.
Fargo's police chief has asked the community to keep in mind the other family hurting by last Wednesday's shootings. Chief Todd says family members of Marcus Schumacher are also victims. Today, an effort to help that family was announced in North Fargo. The Schumacher family is in need of gift cards for food and clothing. You can bring donations to Plymouth Congregational Church on North Broadway. The hours are tomorrow from 10 until 2 and from 5:30 until 8. You can also contribute Thursday and Friday from 10 until 2. The organizers of this effort say in a Facebook post that they hope to have other times and locations set up soon. For other ways you can donate to the family, head to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
Quite a mild winter day out there today, but some flakes are on the radar. Let's head over to Hutch Johnson to see if there's anything for us to worry about. Hutch?
Thank you, Andrea. If you're heading outdoors in northwest Minnesota, not much on the radar there, but it is cooling off into the lower teens and single digits. We have a couple of areas of snow activity, one out in central North Dakota. That could impact our southwestern counties from Stutzman through Dickey and Lemoore. And we do have another area of light snow showing up on the radar from the Rock Lake area all the way down to not far from the FM area. So light snow nonetheless, just a few flakes, very little accumulation for most of our areas this evening. Temperatures in the teens with a northeast breeze. Single digits, though, by bedtime tonight in Grand Forks. All right, it's been cold long enough. We have some warmer weather to talk about. We'll do just that. And I'll tell you about any hitches in the old giddy up here in just a couple of moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
Officers have a break in a string of burglaries in Cass County. Sheriff's deputies say they're holding a 17-year-old boy in connection with a number of break-ins that happened in and around the Buffalo and Tower City areas. They also say they have recovered a number of items that were stolen. Investigators say they started getting reports about the break-ins earlier this month.
A new survey of 18 colleges and universities across Minnesota shows some troubling findings. Fewer students are using condoms, and sexually transmitted infections are on the rise. MSUM is part of the survey, and the director of the Hendricks Health Center on campus, Carol Grimm, says she believes students understand the risks of not using contraception. Grimm says she thinks students are aware of the potential risk of infections and diseases, but adds it's hard to understand why they won't use condoms.
You know, I don't know, because we make condoms available on our college campus. You know, we give them away free here at Hendricks. The residence halls have them.
Students say that they aren't sure why the numbers of condom usage are falling either. According to this survey, the rates of chlamydia infection rose to its highest level.
Fargo drivers are taking note of the rising gas prices. Drivers along 25th Street South and 45th Street South are filling up with prices as high as $1.49 per gallon. The 10-cent increase is on display at many gas stations in the area. According to AAA, the national average price for gas is $1.69 per gallon.
A Nevada congressman wants to make sure emergency medical teams retain the ability to administer life-saving medicine in the field. Congressman Joe Heck says the Drug Enforcement Agency wants certain drugs to be used only in hospitals because of fears over the accountability of controlled substances and how they're administered. Heck says the current law states that medical directors can create standing orders that apply to emergency situations. If a patient meets certain criteria, a substance can be administered in the field. He says the DEA wants to take that ability away from paramedics, saying they can no longer use controlled substances, even under these standing orders from medical directors. Heck says this will hinder a paramedic's ability to give quality care to a patient, especially in rural areas where a patient could wait a long time for an ambulance.
There's a way to make sure that we can ensure the accountability of these controlled substances while still allowing the paramedics to administer these life-saving materials, these life-saving drugs, under a physician's standing order.
Congressman Heck adds that this bill will specify the protocol for a physician creating a standing order.
It's Tuesday, and that means it's time for another restaurant report card. Tune in tonight on Valley News Live, 10 at 10. We'll check out some eateries in Grand Forks to find out which places need to clean up their act and which are awarded our Clean Plate Award. And remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day.
If you're a middle-aged woman, listen up. Cardiologists say that you have a high risk for heart disease. Later on Valley News Live at 6, what you can do to zero in on your risk.
We've been talking about warmer weather, and the temperatures start rising on your Wednesday, but they come with wind and, yes, a chance for some mixed precipitation. We'll spell it all out in your hour-by-hour forecast up next.